The Year
of Billy Miller
by...
Henkes.
So, we are on page 220. We only have a few more pages to go. They are at the family night. We are family poetry reading where they read about a favorite person, a special person. Emma just read about her grandmother. And now it's Billy's turn. I'll go back to the page before where he finished yesterday. He rubbed Sal's pearl in his pocket one last time as he made his way to the middle of the stage. He could sense Mama right behind him. When somebody is so close to you, you can feel it, you can sense it. Billy inched up to the microphone. He looked out at the audience. When he had practiced with the microphone, only room 2 kids were watching. Now there seemed to be an ocean of people. Think about how big the ocean is. What if they were all watching you? Well, there's not, but it seems that way to him. People watching, stretching from wall to wall and fanning back towards the door. Meaning like... A shivery feeling shot through him. It was a good feeling at first, and he tried to locate Papa and Sal among the sea of heads. But he couldn't. And then the good feeling turned bad. He had an odd sensation that the world around him was moving in all directions. His mouth was dry. His heart was pounding. Once again, he forgot every word of his poem, including the title. But this time, he didn't have a copy of it to read from. He saw Miss Silver in the fringes of his vision. She was smiling and nodding and urging with her wide eyes. Should he walk over to her and get a copy? She seemed about a mile away. He didn't think he could make his legs move. What should he do? The air felt weird all of a sudden, as if it had sprouted wings and was brushing against him. The air was fluttering against his arm. How could it be? He turned around, and Mama was there with a copy of his poem. Tapped it lightly against his elbow. Here, she whispered. You can do it. And he could. And he did. He read his poem into the microphone from the beginning to the end in a voice that was so big and loud and wide it seemed to bounce beyond the walls of the school, reaching to the outside world all the way to the moon. Everyone clapped. He heard Papa whistle, although he still couldn't spot him. The next thing he knew, he was in the hallway behind the stage, enveloped in Mama's arms. On the stage, it was as if he had been separated from his body. And now he caught up with himself. Everything was back to normal. You did it, said Mama. You did it beautifully. But I didn't do it by heart, said Billy. Oh, it doesn't matter. How did you have a copy of my poem? Asked Billy. Oh, I took it from Miss Silver when I followed you up on the stage, replied Mama. A moment passed, and then Billy asked, did you think I couldn't do it? Without missing a beat, Mama said, I just wanted a souvenir from this wonderful night. Well, whatever the reason, Billy was grateful that Mama had done what she had done. They went back to their seats to watch the rest of the show. After the show, refreshments were served on long tables in the back of the auditorium. Billy had 4 of Papa's cookies. Ned tried to eat 1 of each different food item. Everyone was talking about the experience of being on stage. Did you hear that incredible screechy sound when I was up there? Asked Ned. My dad said it's called feedback. I had major feedback, he said. He bragged. When I was up there, there were so many people, I couldn't even see my dad. All I know, said Emma, is that I ended up being the only memorizer. Emma's comment nagged at Billy. He'd already recited his poem from memory in his head 2 times since the show had ended. He tried to convince himself that it didn't matter, and he told himself that he could recite it for Mama at home. People were milling about, eating, laughing, chatting, when Mrs. Silver's gong sounded. A hush came over the room. Miss Silver was at the center of the stage. Please sit down. By the microphone. Thank you, everyone, she said. We accomplished a lot this year. Not just putting on a marvelous show. A few people clapped. Mama touched Billy's shoulder. Papa winked at him. Sal made rainbow drop dance. We studied and learned so much, said Miss Silver. We worked hard. She smiled and raised up one hand near her heart. Our school year overlapped with Chinese year of the rabbit and the dragon. But I like to think of this as the year of room 2. Everyone clapped and cheered for a long time. Miss Silver stepped away from the microphone and waved enthusiastically as she walked to the corner of the stage and downstairs. It looked to Billy as if Miss Silver might cry. Some of the parents rushed to Miss Silver's to hug her. She slowly made her way back to the back of the room by the food. People began eating and laughing and chatting again. No one seemed to notice as Billy moved quietly towards the stage. Weaving through the clusters of people, he has an idea. He took the stairs lightly and stepped up to the microphone. Billy looked out into the auditorium. No one was staring at him. No one was paying attention. He felt almost alone. He touched the silver netting on the top of the microphone, and he could tell the power was on. Oh, it was off. He swallowed. Before he could change his mind, he began to recite his poem from memory. He felt the first few words catch in his mouth, and when they rolled out of him as easy as could be. He did it quickly, but he did it. When he was finished, he could hear the rush of blood in his ears. He felt light as if he weighed nothing. He scanned the crowd for Mama, and he saw her instantly. She was right at the foot of the stage. Their eyes connected. And he knew that she'd been watching him. She had heard him even without the microphone on. She was smiling and nodding. Explosions like little volcanoes were going off inside him. He felt wonderful. Maybe he had never felt better. And then, because he felt so good, and because he could not stop himself, he leaned in to the silent microphone and exclaimed in a voice meant just for Mama, "This is the year of Billy Miller." Dun, dun, dun. And the school year ended.